العلم بحر منتهاه يبعد ليس له حد إليه يقصد وليس كل العلم قد حويته أجل ولا العشر ولو أحصيته وما بقي عليك منه أكثر مما علمت والجواد يعثر فكل ما علمته مستفهما إن كنت لا تفهم منه الكلمات.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله ما عظمه معظم وسار إليه راغب متعلم وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد, today we'll talk about the 8th ma'qid and to remind everyone, the first ma'qid was cleansing the heart, second one was purifying intention, third one was gathering the zeal, gathering motivation, and being patient, gathering motivation to work very hard, and the fourth one was to focus all the motivation in Qur'an and Sunnah and any knowledge that serves Qur'an and Sunnah. And also that those are four. Yes, fifth one was the methodology to follow. No, actually, fourth one was the methodology. No, fifth one, yes. Fifth one was the path to achieving the goal. And sixth one was starting from young age. Starting from everything. Yes. Sixth one was studying from everything, all type of knowledge, and then choosing what you're best at. And then the last one that we did was number 7, starting from young age. So the 8th one here is to لزوم التأني في طلبه وترك العجلة. Sheikh, you want to read for us, Sheikh Abubakar? Or anyone wants to read? Sheikh Saeed, you didn't try, I think, before. I don't know if you're ready. Okay, لزوم التأني is to, you can write down if you want to read, or anyone who wants to read this book. So لزوم التأني is to do it slowly. تأني, it means to not rush. It's the opposite of rushing. في طلبه, in seeking it. وترك العجلة, and leaving the hastiness. So تأني is to do it slowly. But تأخر is to delay it. But تأني is only to delay it enough. So تأني is to delay so that you're not hasty. But if you say ta'akhur is a negative word, it's like you're lazy, you postponed everything. So he said, إِنَّ تَحْصِيلَ الْعِلْمِ لَا يَكُونُ جُمْلَةً وَاحِدًا. To get the knowledge it does not come all at once. Okay, it's not at once. إِذِ الْقَلْبُ يَضْعُفُ عَنْ ذَلِكَ وَإِنَّ لِلْعِلْمِ فِيهِ ثِقَلًا كَثِقَلِ الْحَجَرِ في يد حامله. He says, the getting knowledge does not come all at once because our hearts are weak. The heart is weak from doing that, and knowledge in it has a bit of heaviness, like the heaviness of a stone. And Allah says, قال تعالى إنا سنلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا. Allah says, verily we shall send down to you a heavy word. As you can see, a heavy word. That is Qur'an. وَإِذَا كَانَ هَذَا وَصْفُ الْقُرْآنِ الْمُيَسَّرِ كَمَا قَالَ تَعَالَى وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَمَا الظَّنُّ بِغَيْرِهِ مِنَ الْعُلُومِ. And if this is the Qur'an, Allah says is heavy, is a heavy word. At the same time, Allah says we made Qur'an easy. And He said, and we have certainly made the Qur'an easy for remembrance. So He made it easy, but still He said that it's heavy. What would you think of other knowledges? Other knowledge will be even heavier. So that's why we should do it slowly. We shouldn't rush. وقد وقع تنزيل القرآن رعاية لهذا الأمر منجما مفرقا باعتبار الحوادث والنوازل. قال تعالى وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. And this happened actually when Quran was being revealed. It was revealed bit by bit over 23 years. According to what things that used to happen, according to whatever that was happening, Quran was coming to give solutions for that. Allah says, وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and those who disbelieve say, why is the Quran not revealed to him all at once? Thus, it is sent down in part, that we may strengthen thereby your heart, and we have revealed it to you gradually in stages. So as you can see, Quran, which Allah made easy, is still heavy, and it was revealed to show us the methodology of learning. Over 23 years, it was revealed slowly. وهذه الآية حجة في لزوم التأني في طلب العلم والتدرج فيه وترك العجلة، كما ذكره الخطيب البغدادي في الفقيه والمتفقه، والراغب الأصفهاني في مقدمة جامع التفسير. He said this ayah is a dalil to show that we have to have this ta'anni, to have tranquility. Ta'anni, I don't know what is the exact word for English, but it's just not to rush and do it gradually. And also he says, in seeking knowledge, وَالتَّدَرُّجِ فِيهِ is to do it gradually, وَتَرْكِ الْعَجَلَ, and not rushing it. The way Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi mentioned in his book Al-Faqih wal-Mutafaqih, and also Al-Raghib al-Asfahani in his Muqaddimah of Jami' al-Tafsir, he mentioned the same tip or the same advice. Okay, and yeah, ومن شعر ابن النحاس الحلبي, Ibn Nahhas al-Halabi, he wrote a poem, and this is what he said: اليوم شيء وغدا مثله، اليوم شيء وغدا مثله، من نخب العلم الذي تلتقط، يحصل المرء بها حكمة، وإنما السيل اجتماع النقط. اليوم شيء وغدا مثله. He said today you get something. وغدا مثله, and tomorrow you get same amount like today. من نخب العلم, in the sciences that you have selected, the core of each sciences, or the best part of each knowledge, التي تلتقط, that you pick it up. التقط is like when you on the floor there are things and then you're picking what you want. So it's called taqat. Even if you find a lost item, you could say iltaqat. Even a lost item is called luqta. In fiqh books, luqta is like, you found something on the street, and now how to deal with it in fiqh, we'll talk about it. Whether you should announce it, for how long, and what kind of thing you got, what's the value. So just to give you a context about tultaqat. يحصل المرء, he said, today something, tomorrow something, from the best part of knowledge that you can pick it up. يحصل المرء بها حكمة, you can get the wisdom. وإنما السيل اجتماع النقط. A flood is just a collection of drops. That's how you make a flood. So if you want a flood, just collect some drops and keep them. ومقتضى لزوم التأني لزوم التأني وتدرج بداءة بالمتون الصغار المصنفة في فنون العلم. The consequence of, or the way it can manifest, you studying, you sticking to the not being hasty, to do ta'anni slowly and gradually. So how do we do that? We start with short books. In every subject there's a short book. In fiqh there's a short book of every madhab. A well-known book, okay, if you want to study fiqh, this is the book. Aqidah, there are short books for learning aqidah. So if we study those short books to begin with, that means we are sticking to the gradual way of seeking knowledge. But if we start hifdhan or istishrahan, we should memorize those short books. We don't have to memorize the advanced books, but the short books we should memorize. Hifdhan wa istishrahan, by memorizing and also seeking the explanation. So it's about memorization and understanding. So we memorize and understand. If you finish the first book, don't rush for the second book. One of my sheikh used to say, if you finish one book, what's the best book to do next? He said, it's the same book. If you haven't memorized it and haven't understood 100%, then the next book is the same book. You do it even 100 times. Okay, in the Salaf and the stories, they were it was narrated. Some people used to study the same book so many times. We shouldn't feel like I finished it. Even there's another piece of advice, words of wisdom in other books I was studying. It's also similar to this topic about glorifying knowledge. So he was saying that if you hear something you already heard before again, you should have the same respect for it. If you have less feeling in your heart, I've already heard this hadith, or I've already heard this information, then you have not reached, your heart is not respecting knowledge the way it should. So I will mail an mutala'ati al-mutawwalati. We should deviate from reading the advanced books which are very long. التي لم يرتفع الطالب إليها, something that's beyond someone's level. So for example, if someone starts fiqh from the book of Al-Minhaj. Al-Minhaj is an advanced book in Shafi'i madhab. It mentions all the opinions within the madhab if there was any disagreement. So if someone starts from that, he's not going to benefit. In fact, he's going to run away from knowledge. He's going to say, this is so hard. Why is it like this? Why there's difference of opinion? Also, same thing if someone studies Al-Iqna'. Al-Iqna' is advanced in Hanbali. So in anything, in grammar, Arabic grammar, if someone starts from Alfiya, then they will be put off from the knowledge. They'll be demotivated. Also, they will be confused. And if some people, sometimes they don't have knowledge, they just go to advanced book to seek their answers to the Islamic questions. That's not knowledge. They can actually mislead people. If they just use these books as reference and they never study them, then it's very dangerous. And then he said, وَمَنْ تَعَرَّضَ لِلنَّظَرِ فِي الْمُطَوَّلَاتِ فَقَدْ يَجْنِي عَلَى دِينِهِ. And someone who looks at advanced book, he can actually do something bad to his religion. He can harm his religion and going beyond bounds. وتجاوز الاعتدال في العلم ربما أدى إلى تضييعه. Going over the limit in seeking knowledge by studying advanced book before beginner books, you can lose the knowledge. It will lead it to a loss. And ومن بداعي الحكم, one of the good words of wisdom, قول عبد الكريم الرفاعي. عبد الكريم الرفاعي رحمه الله, he said words of wisdom. أحد شيوخ العلم بدمشق, one of the scholars of knowledge in Damascus, in Sham, في القرن الماضي, in the last century. He said طعام الكبار سم الصغار. The food of adults is a poison to the young. Let's say a baby. When a baby is born, if we feed it our food, it's going to be harmful for the baby. So that's what they're talking about. And the next معقد is المعقد التاسع, the ninth معقد. الصبر, being patient في العلم, in knowledge, تحملا وأداء. تحملا means when you're seeking it. وأداء, when you're giving it back. So when you are listening to something, seeking the knowledge, is called tahammul in Arabic. Ada is when you are actually delivering it. Even in hadith, in the sciences of hadith, what they say? In the sciences of hadith, when a narrator is taking the hadith, they say tahammul and then they say ada. So this word is actually a terminology that we use, a very known terminology, tahammul and ada. Even there's conditions. When can you take knowledge and when can you give it? We're not talking about knowledge now. Talking about hadith. For example, if hadith was narrated, and we have to check the age of the person narrated the hadith. The person has to be above the age of puberty. So it should be baligh, the person narrating hadith. If he says, okay, I had this hadith from my sheikh, that person has to be baligh. If he's young, underage, we don't accept the hadith from him. But it's okay to hear the hadith while he was young. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu had the hadith from the Prophet ﷺ when he was young, underage. But then he was narrating while he was old, above puberty. So that was fine. But if he narrated while he was young, people wouldn't write it. And they wouldn't take it. The hadith cannot become sahih. But if he remembers while he is an adult, then that's fine. So I'm just giving a bit of mustalah al-hadith, just because these words are very well-known terminologies in hadith. Tahammul wa ada. Tahammul is to take it, and ada is to deliver it. So the Sheikh says, may Allah حفظه الله إذ كل جليل من العلوم لا يدرك إلا بالصبر وأعظم شيء تتحمل فيه النفس طلب المعالي تصبيرها عليه ولهذا كان الصبر والمصابرة مأمورا بهما لتحصيل أصل الإيمان تارة ولتحصيل كماله تارة أخرى. قال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا. وقال تعالى واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه. So the Sheikh say every big knowledge, he said every big knowledge, every big matters, you cannot get it except with being patient. You cannot get big things without being patient. If you want to go to university and get your medicine degree, you're not going to get it if you're not patient. Or if you want to get a job, a good job, then you cannot get it without being patient. So, and he said, وَعَظَمُ الشَّيْءَ تَتَحَمَّلُ بِهِ النَّفْسُ طَلَبُ الْمَعَالِي. So if you want high level, then you need to be patient. تَصْبِيرُهَا is to make the nafs have sabr. وَلِهَذَا كَانَ الصَّبْرُ وَالْمُصَابَرَ مَأْمُورًا بِهِ. That's why Allah has ordered us to do sabr and musabara. So there's a difference between sabr and musabara. Sabr is to be patient, and musabara, I think, to be more patient. Okay, I don't remember now, but we'll see. So sometimes I might remember during the lesson. So Allah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اصْبِرُوا وَصَابِرُوا. So he's telling us to do sabr and musabara. وقال تعالى, Allah says in another Qur'an, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُم. Be patient to be with those who they call Allah, they worship Allah in the morning and in the evening. And yuriduna wajha, only they're doing for His sake. So okay, in the tafsir, what I say, persevere and endure and remain stationed and fear Allah that you may be successful. All you who believe, all you have believed, persevere and endure and remain stationed. So just persevere and endure. In English, just those two words. And I will tell you later, inshallah. So قال يحيى ابن أبي كثير. Yahya Sheikh, may Allah have mercy on him, in his tafsir of this ayah, he said these people who sit majlis fiqh. So be patient, stay with those people who seeking fiqh. That's how this ayah was explained in one of the tafsirs. وَلَنْ يُحَصِّلَ أَحَدٌ الْعِلْمَ إِلَّا بِالصَّبْرِ. No one will get knowledge without patience. If you feel comfortable, you wake up Fajr, you pray Fajr, you go back to sleep, you go to work, you come home. Once you're home, you don't think about knowledge. You think, okay, what's next? You go out with friends, you have your own plans. Every day, your free time has already planned to go out with friends, to spend some time online or using your phone and watching so many clips, videos on YouTube, on TikTok. You will never have time to seek knowledge. So it's about making use of our time and being patient as well, because it's not easy. As the previous point is heavy. So قال يحيى ابن أبي كثير, again, the same Sheikh, أيضا again, لا يستطاع العلم براحة الجسم. You cannot get knowledge with the comfort of your body. So if you are just enjoying yourself and you have raha of your jism, then you cannot get knowledge. فبالصبر يخرج. With patience, you will get out من معرة الجهل, from the ignorance. You can come out of it if you have sabr. And then he said, وَبِهِ تُدْرَكُ لَلَّذَّةُ الْعِلْمِ. With patience, you can actually manage to taste the sweetness of knowledge. وَصَبْرُ الْعِلْمِ نَوْعًا. Being patient in knowledge is actually two types of patience. أحدهما, the first one, صبر في تحمله وأخذه. فالحفظ يحتاج إلى صبر والفهم يحتاج إلى صبر وحضور مجالس العلم يحتاج إلى صبر ورعاية حق الشيخ تحتاج إلى صبر. He said there are two things here we need to be patient in seeking knowledge. The first one is to be patient when you're seeking it and taking. Memorizing requires patience. Understanding requires patience. Attending the lectures require patience. And also giving the sheikh his right, having adab in front of the sheikh requires sabr. والنوع الثاني, the second type, صبر في أدائه, being patient in giving the knowledge, وبثه وتبليغه لأهله, to make sure the knowledge reaches the people. Then it requires a lot of sabr. To sit, he said, صبر. والنوع الثاني صبر في أدائه وبثه وتبليغه إلى أهله. فالجلوس للمتعلمين يحتاج إلى صبر وإفهامهم يحتاج إلى صبر واحتمال زلاتهم يحتاج إلى صبر. He says giving the knowledge and making it reach the people needs sabr. Sitting in front of the students requires sabr. And making them understand requires sabr, patience. Also, the mistake that your student make. Sometimes they make a mistake. They don't have adab, some of them. So you have to be patient as well. So as a sheikh, you have to be patient in that. So giving the knowledge needs sabr. Taking it requires sabr. وفق هذين النوعين من صبر العلم وفوق هذين النوعين من صبر العلم الصبر على الصبر فيهما والثبات عليهما. He says, above these two types of sabr in seeking knowledge, we also need to be patient on top of these two. You have to be patient to be patient. This is deep, right? You have to be patient in being patient, because sometimes being patient is so hard. So you have to be patient as well. So then finally this poem, لكل إلى شأو العلا وثبات لكل إلى شأو العلا وثبات ولكن عزيز في الرجال ثبات. He said all jump high to reach their aims, but scarce is it amongst the men to be truly steadfast. So everybody wants to run up to go a high level, and then but scarce is very few. ولكن عزيز, that means they're very few among men to get those who are patient and steadfast. Okay, and this is where we end this lesson. رب زدنا علما وارزقنا فهما يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.